Joining me now is my all-star panel, David Avella, Republican strategist, Chris Hahn, former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer. All right, guys, interesting week this week. And I'll start with that Georgia race, that congressional race. And we've got, they kept talking about Georgia 5 and Georgia 6. And since it's a Democratic race, Chris, I'll let you explain. Why do they keep saying 5 and 6?
I don't know, but all I can say is this. All I can say is this.
Because he lives in 5 and he's running in 6.
Yeah, whatever. Look, the Constitution doesn't say you got to live in the district, you got to live in the state, and that's what matters. He grew up in the district. Give him a break, okay? But I will say this. The only thing that makes Karen Handel a Republican is the R next to her name. She's a big spending liberal in her political career. She even bought herself a Lexus. She bought herself a Lexus on the government's dime. That's too much for even me, Judge.
Now, David, you see what the problem is. I asked him a question about the Democrat and where he lives, and he needs to talk about the Republican. But let's talk about the Democrat. He didn't win, and they're all in a fuss because they think he really did. Did he win or didn't he?
Blurring the lines between victory and defeat are this new way for the Democrats to cope with losing. The reality is Republicans as a collective group got more votes than the Democratic candidates got. And in any measure, that means the Democrats lost. But that's where they are. I mean, the Democratic Party right now is in a position where they have to spend lots of money, overhype their candidates, and hope their activists see it as victories and keep them fired up to stay involved in the party.
Dave, that's a seat that had a 20-plus R margin the last time.
As Lou Holt says, anything more than a one-point victory is running up the score.
Look, this guy's got a very good chance to get elected. She's a very flawed candidate. I think it's going to be a very good race, and I'm interested to see what happens in the next 6 weeks. And quite frankly, a lot of what's happening on the national level will influence this race. If President Trump introduces unpopular health care in that district, it could really help the Democratic candidate.
Yes, David?
Karen Handel is going to be the next member of Congress from Georgia's 6 congressional districts, and the Democrats will be 0-2 in special elections.
So let's talk about the Democratic Unity Week. So Tom Perez comes out with Bernie Sanders, who isn't even a Democrat, Chris. He's a socialist. Yeah. And the Democrat is booed by the Sanders people. I mean, it doesn't get worse than this. Can't the Democrats figure this out? Come on, Chris.
Well, look, there is a faction within the party that is very much into purity. And I tell those people, fight as hard as you want during a primary. But when it comes to the general election, we got to hang together or we will surely hang separately. And that's why I think there's going to be more unity going forward. But some things still got to get worked out within the party.
Go ahead, David.
I think this is really about Bernie Sanders trying to get to million-miler status and using the Democratic Party to fly him around the country. Because the question is, the guy who is setting the agenda for the Democratic Party, the guy whose policies, ideas are leading the Democratic Party, he gets asked, are you a Democrat? And he's like, nah, I'm an independent. Now, add to that, there's a media report today about how Democrats are elated that President Obama is coming off of vacation because they don't have anybody to fire them up, and they're looking for a leader. That's where the Democratic Party is right now. The guy who lost them over 1,000 elections.
Dave, this time 4 years ago, we didn't know who Donald Trump was. We're going to start to know who the next leader of the Democratic Party is real soon.
It's not going to be this guy Ossoff, that's for sure.
No, but I think that there are a lot of people out there. There's a John Hickenlooper, there's an Andrew Cuomo. There are a lot of good people on the bench. You wait.
All right, well, we'll wait and see, Chris. We'll give you that. Okay, how about this? We're going to let it end on that, Chris. Thanks very much.
Thank
Chris
you, Judge.
Hahn, David Avella.